Hello everyone. We are in this lecture. We are going to discuss, as decided, we'll be discussing the university questions. That is of UGC NET Paper 1, and the topic will be teaching aptitude. And we are going to take 2 years question papers in this. That is specific, which will be focusing basically on the teaching aptitude topic. That is year 2018 and 2019. So let's start for the day. Now, the first question is, which of the learner characteristics influence the his or her perspective in a course of study? Please read the question very carefully. Learner's characteristics influencing his study. So you have the options given below, that is the learner's commitment, parents' interest, prior knowledge of the learner, skill of the learner, family size, and the socio-economic background. Now, when you get such type of options, you have to first find out those options which cannot be answered at all. So it becomes easier for you to cut down with the options. So, like for example, family size of the learner and his economic and social background definitely will not be an option. That is 5 and 6. So wherever you get option number 5 and 6 becomes, a cross out option. So you have left with these two options. So let's see what is given. In the first option, you have learner's commitment. Yes. You have prior knowledge. Yes. And you have the skill. So yes, this can be the option, but let's first cross check the second option also. Learner's commitment, okay, parents' interest, and the prior knowledge. But if you compare parents' interest and skill, definitely the weightage will be to the skill. So your correct option for this is option number 1. So if you see the correct answer, option number 1 is the correct answer for this question. Let's go with the second question. The performance of a student is compared with another student. See, comparison of one student with another. It's which type of testing. Now here we cannot go with this reducing method. Why? Because this is a conceptual and factual question where the facts are given in the form of concept clearance, where you need to be very clear with your concept. So if we talk about comparison of one student with another, it is covered under the testing called as norm reference testing. So your answer for this question is question number 2. The option will be correct. Option will be fourth one. The next one is, which of the following is an example of maximum performance test? Maximum, where you get a maximum amount of performance. So if you see personality, it will focus only on that. Projective for personality will also focus only that particular part. Aptitude test, you have an option where you can go with aptitude as well as the capability also. Interest and attitude will focus only that. So if you see the options 3, that is aptitude test, will give you the maximum performance test. That is your option number 3 is the right answer for this question. Then the next question is we have is again a choice based, where you can just read out and find out those choices which cannot be at all a part of the answer. So let's read out, which of the strategies in the list given below is associated with direct teaching. So you have to find out the strategies which are linked towards direct teaching. That is providing examples and explanation, promoting inquiry, focusing on concepts, giving review and recapitulation, orient practice and feedback, problem raising and problem solving. So if you see, problem raising and problem solving does not require a direct teaching strategy. So option number 6 you can cut down, where it is given only in one. Promoting inquiry, if you see, which again can does not requires direct teaching. So option number 2 goes okay. The option left is 3. Let's read out the answer for that. Providing examples, yes, you require direct teaching. Focusing on sorry, the fourth one is giving review and recapitulation, yes, it requires direct teaching. And ORing practice and feedbacks, yes, it requires direct teaching. So option number 3 is your right answer. Okay. Then the next question, which is an online storehouse for all academic awards like certificates, diploma, and degree mark sheets. Online store for academics. Okay. So if you see Swayam, it is for academics, but it is not a store. It is a learning teaching mode. Okay. So this option is not available. Library, where you get books, ebooks. Okay. And material to ensure that you enhance your learning skills with the material. So this is not an option. Academic library, where you will be getting your academic related things. So yes, this is also not an option. So option number 4, that is your academic depository, where you can deposit the important documents. So you have an option number 4 as your right answer. Now, which of the following reflects the best quality of teaching? Best quality. Now, see, if you see the options, they through the use of teaching aids, many teaching aids. Okay, quality questions asked by the students, full attendance, and observation of silence by the students. So if you cut down, definitely too many teaching aids will confuse the student. Full attendance will make class, notorious. Observation of silence, student will not speak. So if you talk about the best quality, it will come by asking questions in the classroom. So this answer number, that is option number 2, is your right answer. Going towards the next question. Suppose you are a teacher who is training your students in public speaking and debate. It is to gain confidence in public speaking or to come out with the stage fear. So which of them is most difficult? Most difficult. Okay, control the emotions, concept formulation, appropriate language, and voice modulation. So if you see, concept formulation is easy, language it's practice, voice is also practice, but controlling the emotions is the most difficult to to teach the students. So that is option number 1 is your right answer. Then you have next question is, which among the following is the best advantage of choice based credit system? That is choice based. Okay, shift in the focus from teacher centric to student centric. We have done this of one of the question in the last video also, so just recall that. Okay, improving classroom attendance, helping teacher to complete syllabus, reducing examination anxiety, that is fear. So if you see, definitely class attendance is not an option, syllabus completion is not an option, and reducing exam fear is not an option because counseling is done. So that is shifting from teacher centric to student centric is one of the most advantage of choice based credit system. Then that is your first option, that is option number 1, for there's a correct answer. Next you have as an assertion and reasoning within the teaching aptitude. Now teacher communication is central to the classroom, central. It's, you can say standardized. Now teacher communication behaviors should not be used to regulate the classroom behavior. So like for example, A is false, R is true, both are true, both are true, but R is not the correct explanation for A. A is true, but R is false. Now, see, we can understand that teacher communication is central to the classroom. Yes, it is standard. No one should be, treated in a different way. So it should be standard. But then what they are telling us reason is that this should not be used to regulate classroom behavior. And this is, I guess, it's wrong. Definitely, it is one of the factor. So if you see with the options, option number 4. So let's check out, that is option number 4 is the right answer, where A is true. Yes, but it should not be used to regulate the classroom behavior is not a correct reason. So your option number 4 is the right answer for this question. So here we have completed teaching aptitude of last two paper, last that is a year, two papers, that is from 2018 and 2019. In the coming lectures, we will be taking teaching aptitude from the remaining previous year question papers, as well as we'll be focusing some teaching aptitude questions also. So that's all for the day. Thank you, everyone. Hello, everyone. We'll be starting our preparation for UGC NET Paper 1, where we'll be focusing more on the question answers part. We'll be taking the university questions also, the papers, previous year's questions, as well as we will be taking the general questions from the topic, which will help you to give a better practice for your upcoming examination. Now, in paper 1, we are going to go with the help of various topics which are dedicated for paper 1. So the topic which we are going to start with is teaching aptitude. The slide helps you to give you an idea about what is a syllabus under teaching aptitude. So when we talk about syllabus of teaching aptitude, you have 4 topics. That is, first is with respect to teaching. Okay, and you have details of the topic over here. Second topic is with respect to learners characteristics. Third topic is with respect to factors affecting teaching related to. And the fourth topic is methods of teaching in institutions of higher learning. So we will be having questions on all the topic, as well as we will be discussing the things the moment we start with our question answers. So before we start with the questions, please be ready with some writing material so that you can write down the answer and you can cross check the answer, which will give you a good practice for your upcoming examination. So let's start with the first question. What is the basic work of a teacher? Now, please understand, whenever you get a question, do not be in a hurry to jump to an answer or a conclusion. Read all the given options very carefully so that it becomes easier for you to understand how to answer the question. So, the topic over here, the question is, what is the basic work of a teacher? To make strict discipline, to make better relation with subordinates, to arrange co-curricular activities, to motivate and direct the child for finding and obtaining knowledge. So if you have to think like a teacher now, so if you are a teacher, what out of this given option, which is the best option which you will try to give to your student? So yes, when you have discipline is needed, but that is not the very strict discipline is not needed. So just go down, reducing the options which are not nearby, so that will help you to give you a easy answer. So strict discipline is needed but not strict, so this option goes for you. To make better relation with subordinates, no, teacher has a lot of work other than that, so this option also goes down. To arrange for the co-curricular activities, yes, you can think for this option, but let us go for the last option and check out what will be the best answer. To motivate and direct the child for finding and obtaining knowledge, yes, this is the perfect answer for the basic work of a teacher. So if you compare this last two answers, out of that, which is the more closest answer to the question, is to motivate and direct the child for finding and obtaining knowledge. So when you go for the answers, you can see your option D is the right answer. So, what is the basic work of a teacher? To motivate and direct the child for finding and obtaining knowledge. The second question: which quality of a teacher students like the most? Please read the answer read the question very carefully. Which quality of the teacher students like the most? Listen to their problems, is never displeased, strict for timeliness, treats all without discrimination. So now if you go with your reducing option, treats all without discrimination, yes, somewhere this can be possible. Strict, we have seen it is strictness is important, but sometimes teacher has to be little bit lenient in order to make the child comfortable. So this can't be an option. Is never displeasing. Displeasing, it means it is not about, it is just hurting the teacher. Or like for example, the teacher is uh, trying the level best, but to displease, so that cannot be an option, definitely not. Listening to the problem, so you have these two options. Okay, but which is the option which is more closer to the answer? That is listening to the problem. So definitely when it comes to students like those teacher more who like who listen to the problems and give them a type of support. So this option number A is the correct answer. Now, when we go to question number 3, it is essential for a teacher to do what? Now let us see what a teacher has to do. What is essential? It means what is more important for a teacher to do. To have knowledge about all the subjects, be contented, it means to be happy, have an attractive personality, have a deep knowledge about all the subjects. Now see, if you just go with the reducing option, have to have an attractive personality is not important. We have teachers with not a very good personality but with very good knowledge, so knowledge plays an important role. Be contented cannot be an option. So now the two options which are left in front of us is to have knowledge about all the subjects and to have deep knowledge about all the subjects. Okay, so we are expecting what we are expecting deeper knowledge from our teacher with respect to all the subjects. So if you see, your answer for this question is option D, that you expect a teacher to have a deep knowledge about all the subjects which a teacher is handling. Let's go to question number 4. What should be teaching process in your opinion? So now you have to be very careful when you are answering this question. Okay, the perspective of the question should be very clear. So now this is with your current teaching method, current teaching approach. Okay, if you see the teaching approach which is going right now in the academics, it is which type of approach? That is a question related to. So when we talk about teaching process, whether it should be teacher oriented, it should be student oriented, it should be community oriented, or none of above. So obviously this answer does not comes as an answer. So this is not an option. Community oriented, we you have not seen this. Okay, teacher and student. But as I told you very clearly, what is the current status of education system? That is, the education system focuses more or give more importance to what? That type of education which is student oriented. So if you see the right answer, that is, the teaching process should be student oriented, which is for the students. The meaning of oriented, it is for the students, in order to develop and to enhance them. Let's go to the next question. If a student says something harsh, that is, uh, in a very unpolite manner, that displeases you, that makes you, unhappy, what will you do? So you will just smile and be quiet. You start giving difficult tasks to keep the student busy. Give work which the students like to do, and put the student out of the classroom. So like for example, see, now you have to decide that what will be your reaction. Now it is just a child, we have to make him understand, so you can't be tit for tat. So definitely put the student out of the classroom, you can't do this. Start giving difficult tasks to the student, you can't do that. Okay, just smile and be quiet, definitely that is, it is a question of your self respect, so you can't do this. The option which left with you is that make this child understand very properly according to what he likes. So what will be the answer? Give the work which the students like to do, and out of that teach the student, how to respect the elders. So that is what you can do. So the correct answer for this question is question number 5. For that, the correct answer is option C. Now, the next one. A teacher becomes popular among student if teacher. Now, how does teacher gain popularity? If to among the students? By keeping close contact with the students, share student happiness and sorrow, and extends help in education, goes to homes of the student to meet their guardians, enjoys student indulgence in unwarranted activities. Now, the activities which are, which does not give unwarranted, it means it does not give you any type of support, or it does not give you any type of growth. So definitely this is not an option. Okay, keeps close contact with the student, no, there is a limit between a teacher and student relationship. Goes to the homes of the student to meet their guardians, no, this is not allowed formally. So the option left is share student happiness and sorrow, and extends helps in education. That is, to be with them in the times, good or bad, and to give them the type of education which they want. So if you see the option, that is option number B is your correct answer. Please try to read, understand it, and then try to answer the, or some of the answers are, you feel that they are very close by, but when you feel that confusion comes, just read the question once and again concentrate on the options. Now next one. if you are if you are unable to finish your lessons, like many a times teacher is not, able to complete the syllabus within the given deadline, so what the teacher will do? Teacher will finish it by holding additional classes or class, ask the students to do it at home, advise the students to join tuitions, leave it unfinished. So definitely this is not possible, because the teacher has to, the first duty of a teacher is to complete the syllabus. Okay, teacher will never advise the student to go for the tuition classes, nor teacher will tell the students to do it as a self study. So the best option or the closest option for this is will finish it by holding an additional lectures or additional class. So option number A is your right answer. Next one. How will you teach effectively in your class? So how the teacher will teach effectively in the classroom with guides and notes which are ready-made available, having a question answer session, by reading from the textbook, or with the help of a good lecture. Now see, if you see, definitely guides and notes, we do not, as a teacher, you never tell a student to, you never teach a student from a guide. Okay, by reading the textbook, yes, this can be an option, but this, whether we need to check whether it is a close option or not. With a good lecture, yes, this also is, it's an option, but definitely the students learn more when they are told to think about the question on their own, and conducting a answering session, a question answering session, where they learn a lot of things, how to put the question and how to get the answer for the question. So the option over here is having a question answer session, the student learns more. So option number B is your right answer. Now, the next question is, the main function of a teacher is to. Now, what is function? It means what type of role teacher plays. So give as much as possible homework to the students, improve intellectual ability of the students, that is the cognitive ability, the mental ability, improve physical ability of the students, develop student personality in all respect. Now, if you see the first option, give as much as homework to the students, no, this is completely, not acceptable. Improve intellectual. Now, see, it is good that you're improving the mental ability, but mental ability only is not an option. You have, you have other abilities of a child also to develop. So this can't be an option. Only physical ability definitely can't be an option. So teacher has to develop the overall personality of the student. So it means that developing the student personality in all the respect is the correct answer. Please try to understand developing student personality overall. So in that you get intellectual also, physical also, you have communication also of the child. Okay, you help him to become more alert, observant. So overall personality is the developing overall personality is the main function or a role of a teacher. Now, the last question for the day is, when the examination is nearby, what should the teacher do? Teacher should give the students some selected questions with solution. It's like a question bank. Okay. Complete the course by taking additional classes in school premises. Ask students to complete the remaining portion at home. Invite the students at home and complete the remaining portion. Now we have done the similar type of answer, but still we have to, ensure that we are at the right path. So giving a question bank is definitely not an option. Self-study by students is not an option, because difficult subjects students will not be able to do it on their own. Invite the students at home and complete the remaining portion. Officially, this is not right. So what is that? Complete the course by taking additional classes in the school premises. Okay, that is only and only in the school. So if you see question 10, option B is the right answer. So that's all for the day. In the next class, we will be doing the same topic, but we'll be focusing on the university questions of teaching aptitude. Thank you, everyone. Hello, everyone. Here we are back with another video of UGC NET Paper 1 examination. As we all know that we are focusing on the topic of teaching aptitude with previous year questions, and in this particular video we'll be focusing on two papers which were conducted in the year 2018, where we had a re-examination. So let's start with our first question. From the following list of statements, select those which indicates the characteristics and basic requirements of teaching. Please read the question very carefully. What they are asking you to do is you have to pick up the characteristics and basic requirements. So let's go with an option. Teaching implies communication. Teaching is like selling goods. Teaching means managing and monitoring. Teaching implies influencing others. Teaching requires convincing others. There can be no teaching without infrastructural support. Now, as you know, we always follow the method of reducing down. Those options which you feel are not वेरी क्लोज, यानी जो ऑप्शंस आपको लगते हैं कि क्लोज नहीं है आंसर से बिल्कुल, उस ऑप्शंस को आप स्ट्राइक आउट कर सकते हो, विच विल गिव यू एन आइडिया एंड कॉन्फिडेंस टू गो थ्रू द राइट आंसर. सो अगर आप कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ टीचिंग और रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ टीचिंग के ऊपर फोकस करोगे, तो डेफिनेटली जो भी ऑप्शंस हमने पढ़े हैं उसमें से देयर कैन बी नो टीचिंग विदाउट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चरल सपोर्ट, तो बिल्कुल नहीं आएगा. बिकॉज डिपेंड्स अपॉन कि हमारे पास इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है नहीं है, बट आर टीचिंग गोज बेस्ट इफ इट हैज दैट अमाउंट ऑफ कंटेंट एंड नॉलेज. सो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर सपोर्ट तो नहीं आएगा. तो पॉइंट नंबर 6, सो वेर एवर यू हैव पॉइंट 6 यू कैन जस्ट कैंसल इट आउट. अभी नेक्स्ट कौन सा ऑप्शन है जो क्लोज बिल्कुल नहीं है towards the characteristics? Teaching is like selling goods. ये marketing में आता है. It's a marketing concept of selling, but it is not related to marketing. So option number 2 भी चला जाएगा. Okay, so 2 और 6 आने ही नहीं वाले. So if you see option number 1 which is left is incorrect option. Still we will go with the codes. That is, teaching implies communication. Yes. Teaching means managing and monitoring. Yes, very true. Or teaching means teaching implies influencing others. When it comes to influencing, इसके बहुत सारे मीनिंग्स होते हैं, पर यहाँ पे इट इज अ ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन ऑफ अ चाइल्ड, यानी जिस बच्चों को हम पढ़ा रहे हैं उनके उनका अगर आप परिवर्तन भी करते हो, ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन, सो दैट इज नथिंग बट इट इज कॉल्ड एज व्हाट, इन्फ्लुएंसिंग, चेंजिंग देम फॉर अ बेटरमेंट. So this is the your correct option for this particular question is option number 1. Let's go to the second question. What is the purpose underlying use of teaching aids? हम teaching aids use क्यों करते हैं? Those students, आप teachers हो तो definitely in the form of PPT presentation, chalk, duster, your blackboard, whiteboard, ये सारे आपके teaching help, teaching को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए, progressive बढ़ाने के लिए इट हेल्प्स यू विद दिस एड्स. एट द सेम टाइम अभी जैसे हम थोड़े मॉडर्नाइज होते जा रहे हैं विद द डिफरेंट वेज ऑफ टीचिंग्स, हम काफ़ी सारे टीचिंग एड्स यूज करते हैं. बट व्हाट इज एन इंटेंशन, जहाँ लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल अ ज्योग्राफी टीचर यूजिंग अ मैप, ओके, अ मैथ्स टीचर यूजिंग ग्राफिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन. सो ये टीचिंग एड्स हम क्यों यूज करते हैं, पर्पस क्या है? सी द ऑप्शंस: टू मेक लेसन्स इंटरेस्टिंग, to capture students' attention, to enhance access to technological resources, to optimize learning outcomes. अभी options, so everything is fine, बट आपको सबसे बेस्ट ऑप्शन चूज करना है. टू मेक लेसन्स इंटरेस्टिंग, मे बी कुछ लेसन्स में टीचिंग एड्स जरूरी नहीं है, तो आपका लेसन इंटरेस्टिंग नहीं होगा क्या? डेफिनेटली नॉट. यू हैव टू फाइंड आउट द वे ऑफ मेकिंग अ लेसन इंटरेस्टिंग इवन विदाउट टीचिंग एड. तो ये तो ऑप्शन नहीं हो सकता है. टू कैप्चर स्टूडेंट्स अटेंशन, यस, बट अगर स्टूडेंट अटेंटिव नहीं है विद द अमाउंट ऑफ टेकिंग द नॉलेज, तो टीचिंग एड आपके काम का नहीं होगा. टू एनहांस टेक्नोलॉजिकल रिसोर्सेज, जो सब जगह पे अवेलेबल नहीं है, तो ऐसे केसेस में हम जो भी टीचिंग एड्स यूज करते हैं उसका पर्पस एक ही होना चाहिए, ऑप्टिमाइज लर्निंग आउटकम. तो हमें ज्यादा से ज्यादा लर्निंग आउटकम दे, that type of teaching aid is the best teaching aid with the best purpose. So you have your option number 4 as your right answer. Yes. Now this question number 3 is based on some factual knowledges which you need to have. Okay, you just can't go with imagination. आपको इसके बारे में पता होना चाहिए कि ये knowledges, ये जो concepts है उनका वो उनका importance क्या है. So let's understand the question. Below are the statements pertaining to इवैल्यूएशन सिस्टम, यानी हमको बच्चों को इवैल्यूएट करना है, तो उसके लिए कुछ स्टेटमेंट्स दिए हैं. सो लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड दोस कांसेप्ट्स एंड द स्टेटमेंट्स. क्राइटेरियन रेफरेंस टेस्टिंग which focuses on delimited domain of learning tasks. Okay, नॉर्म रेफरेंस टेस्टिंग हमने ये एक वीडियो में किया है. नॉर्म रेफरेंस जो जहां पे मैंने आपको बताया था, इट इज फॉर कंपैरिजन. इट रिक्वायर्स क्लियरली डिफाइंड ग्रुप. फॉर्मेटिव टेस्ट ना, अगर आप देखोगे फॉर्मेटिव एंड समेटिव टेस्ट, ये दो टाइप के टेस्ट है. फॉर्मेटिव आर गिवन एट द एंड ऑफ द कोर्स. समेटिव टेस्ट आर रेगुलरली यूज्ड ड्यूरिंग टीचिंग ट्रांजैक्शंस. अगर आपको नहीं पता ये कंसेप्ट्स के बारे में, ओके, आप वर्ड पे ध्यान दो, समेटिव। समेटिव, सम का मतलब होता है एडिशन, हम जो ऐड करते हैं और जो फाइनल टोटल आता है। तो जब हम बच्चों के प्रोग्रेस के बारे में सोच रहे हैं या बच्चों के प्रोग्रेस के बारे में हमें एनालिसिस करना है, तो हम उसके एग्जाम बेसिस पे करते हैं, जो हम लास्ट में लेते हैं समेटिव। यानी लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल 3 मंथ्स आपने बच्चों को पढ़ाया और उस 3 मंथ्स का सम आपको फाइंड आउट करना है कि उसका सम, इट मीन्स दैट बच्चे ने 3 मंथ्स में क्या पढ़ा है। सो आप लास्ट में लोगे, दैट इज आप एड अप करके सारे 3 महीने के एफर्ट्स को, व्हेन यू टेक अ टेस्ट एट द एंड, इट इज कॉल्ड एज समेटिव। सी द नेम इटसेल्फ, आपको कुछ यहाँ पे बाय हार्ट नहीं करना है। सम का मतलब एडिशन होता है, जो हम लास्ट में कंडक्ट करते हैं। बट ईयर उन्होंने क्या लिखा है, रेगुलरली, तो ये ऑप्शन तो आएगा ही नहीं। और फॉर्मेटिव के लिए उन्होंने लिखा है एट द एंड ऑफ द कोर्स, जो होना चाहिए था समेटिव के लिए। इसका मतलब है फॉर्मेटिव, फॉर्मिंग, ओके, हम बच्चों को प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं रेगुलर बेसिस पे। तो फॉर्मेटिव का मतलब है रेगुलर टेस्ट और समेटिव का मतलब है एंड ऑफ द कोर्स, ओके। तो ये दोनों तो रॉन्ग है, ओके। नाउ नेक्स्ट इज norm reference and criterion reference are used for the same type of testing, comparison करने, it means to judge, okay, either to judge the behavior of a student or his capacity. So yes, let's see this how it, I mean to say ये थोड़ा nearby है, okay, these two are also nearby. Mastery test are examples of non reference testing? No, definitely not. तो हमें कौन से ऑप्शंस मिले हैं, 3, 5 एंड 6। अगर आपको 6 पे थोड़ा डाउट है, बट 3 एंड 5 आर डेफिनेटली रॉन्ग। तो जहां पे भी 3 है, जहां पे भी 5 है, आप उसको कट करो, बिकॉज दे आर रॉन्ग। सो आपका बचता क्या है, दैट इज ऑप्शन नंबर 2। तो हमने ये दोनों तो देखा है, टिक है, 1 एंड 2 यहाँ पे है, और फोर्थ भी मैंने आपको बोला था, यस इट्स करेक्ट। सो योर ऑप्शन नंबर 2 इज द करेक्ट आंसर। सी आपको यहाँ पे ना, यू हैव टू, आपके पास टाइम बहुत लिमिटेड होता है। सो व्हेन यू रीड इट, और ये जो रीडिंग आप करते हो व्हेन एवर वी टेक टेस्ट, आपके जो रेगुलर प्रैक्टिस टेस्ट हो रहे हैं ना, एंश्योर दैट आपका रीडिंग थोड़ा क्विक हो रहा है, एक ग्लांस में हो रहा है। एंड फॉर दैट यू हैव टू कीप ऑन प्रैक्टिस ऑन डेली बेसिस, सीइंग ऑल द वीडियोज, अंडरस्टैंडिंग द कंसेप्ट। आपको रीड करके हाउ यू हैव टू डाउन साइज द ऑप्शंस एंड कम टू द करेक्ट, ये थोड़ा प्रैक्टिस बेस्ड होगा। सो यू हैव टू रियली डिपेंड, और you have to increase the practicing speed. Now, question number 4. Now, what are the following are the statements? Describe the nature and objective of teaching. See, just concentrate करो, हमें teaching पे concentrate करना है. So, teaching and learning are integrally related. Yes, they are unified. Okay, जब teaching होगा तभी learning होगा. जब लर्निंग हो रहा है, इसका मतलब नॉर्मल टीचिंग फॉर्मल या इनफॉर्मल में हुआ रहेगा. सो दैट्स द रीजन दे आर कोरिलेटेड, दे आर यूनिफाइड. सो यस, इट इज राइट. There is no difference between teaching and training. If you say this statement, yes, let's see कि ये थोड़ा सा right है, but let's go for the other options also. I mean to say, teaching and training, अगर आप पर्सपेक्टिव से देखने जाए तो थोड़ा करेक्ट है, बट यहाँ कर अगर आप ऑब्जेक्टिव्स ऑफ टीचिंग पे फोकस कर रहे हो, तो दिस में नॉट बी अ वेरी क्लोज ऑप्शन, तो इसको हमें होल्ड पे रखना है. कंसर्न ऑफ ऑल टीचिंग इज टू एंश्योर सम काइंड ऑफ ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन. मैंने आपको अभी बताया था, कोई भी टीचिंग है, हमारा इंटेंशन एक ही होता है कि बच्चों को हम ट्रांसफॉर्म करें. अगर बच्चा बहुत वीक है तो वी विल मेक हिम लिटिल बिट, हम डायरेक्टली उसको ए ग्रेड तो नहीं बना सकते हैं, बट वी विल मेक श्योर दैट फ्रॉम वेरी वीक सब्जेक्ट, लाइक इफ ही इज फेलिंग इन ऑल द सब्जेक्ट्स, उसको हमने रिड्यूस करके 3 सब्जेक्ट्स किया या 4 सब्जेक्ट्स किया है, फिर हमारा फोकस ऑन 4 पे रहेगा. स्लोली स्लोली उस बच्चों को हम ट्रांसफॉर्म करके वी विल मेक हिम वी विल ब्रिंग द स्टूडेंट ऑन द ट्रैक. सो दैट इज कॉल्ड एज ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन, जो एक रेगुलर प्रोसेस है और जिसके लिए थोड़ा टाइम लगता है. यू कांट इन वन नाइट आप ये ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन नहीं ला सकते हो. सो यस, टीचिंग से ये ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन हो सकता है. सो दिस इज ऑप्शन. ऑल गुड टीचिंग इज फॉर्मल इन नेचर? नो. फॉर्मल का मतलब है हम सिर्फ स्कूल पैटर्न में बच्चों को सिखा सकते नहीं, बहुत सारी चीजें हम इनफॉर्मली भी बच्चों को सिखा सकते हैं विथ विथ जैसे लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल हम आप एक बहुत कैजुअल में वे में बच्चों को स्टोरी बता रहे हैं, एंड बच्चा हंसते खेलते वो स्टोरी को सुन रहा है. सो एट द एंड हमको स्टोरी को कंक्लूड करना है विद अ मॉरल ऑफ द स्टोरी, जहाँ पे बच्चा सीख पाए कि हाँ, अगर उसको इफ उसने ऐसे बिहेव किया तो उसका मॉरल ये होगा, उसका कंक्लूजन ये होगा. तो आप इनफॉर्मल वे में भी बच्चों को बहुत अच्छे से सिखा सकते हो. A teacher is a senior person? Definitely not. You have many youngsters coming in this profession. तो टीचर का सीनियर ही होना करेक्ट ऑब्जेक्टिव है? नो. टीचिंग इज अ सोशल एक्ट whereas लर्निंग इज इन पर्सनल एक्ट. टीचिंग हम एक साथ करते हैं, लर्निंग कम्स टू रिड्यूस टू वन पर्सन. सो लेट्स सी नाउ ऑप्शन नंबर डी एंड ई हमने निकाल दिए हैं. डी एंड ई आर नॉट देयर इटसेल्फ. तो हमारा ऑप्शन जो बचता है वो है 3, दैट इज टीचिंग एंड लर्निंग आर रिलेटेड. यस, हमने ऑलरेडी मार्क किया है. Transformation है, yes, we have done that. So teaching is in social act. So if you see your answer comes to option number 3. Okay. Now the next one is, which of the following learner characteristics is highly related to effectiveness of teaching? यानी learner का कौन सा characteristics teaching को effective बनाएगा? Prior knowledge of learner or experience of learner? Yes. एजुकेशनल स्टेटस ऑफ द पेरेंट्स? ये तो नहीं है. डिपेंड, बहुत सारे पेरेंट्स इलिटरेट है लेकिन बच्चे का अच्छे से पढ़ रहे हैं और अच्छे से पढ़ के बड़े हो गए हैं, सो डज नॉट हैव अ लिंक. पीयर ग्रुप्स ऑफ द लर्नर? नॉट वेरी क्लोजली. उसका इफेक्ट भी हो सकता है. फैमिली साइज? डेफिनेटली नॉट. ओके, डजंट मैटर. तो आपका ऑप्शन क्या है? प्रायर एक्सपीरियंस, प्रीवियस नॉलेज. लर्नर का जो भी प्रीवियस नॉलेज है वो टीचिंग में बहुत इफेक्टिव होता है. जैसे लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, टीचर बैंकिंग का कंसेप्ट सिखा रही है और आप आपके पेरेंट्स के साथ, बच्चे पेरेंट्स के साथ जाके बैंकिंग ट्रांजैक्शन उन्होंने देखा है. जैसे डिपॉजिट करना है, क्या करना पड़ता है, पैसे डिपॉजिट करने हैं, चेक डिपॉजिट. सो द नॉलेज द चाइल्ड हैज, द स्टूडेंट हैज, तो वो प्रायर नॉलेज टीचर को बैंकिंग कंसेप्ट सिखाते समय बहुत यूजफुल हो सकता है. सो दैट इज हाउ इट इज इफेक्टिव. ओके, सो ऑप्शन नंबर 1 इज योर राइट आंसर. देन नाउ क्वेश्चन नंबर 6 आपके पास मैच द फॉलोइंग है. नाउ इन द मैच द फॉलोइंग ऑल्सो, अगर आपको नहीं पता कंसेप्ट्स, सो एटलीस्ट यू मे बी नोइंग, आपको थोड़े से कंसेप्ट्स, सम कंसेप्ट्स आर क्लियर. सो यू जस्ट सी कि कौन सा कंसेप्ट क्लोजली बैठता है एंड देन वी विल हेल्प that it will be easier for you to solve the question. Okay, lecturing, आपको जैसे पता है कॉलेज में the traditional way of teaching the students was lecturing, जो हम जहाँ पे हम delivery of information करते थे इन अ वेरी सिंपल लैंग्वेज. बच्चे टेक्स्ट बुक पढ़ सकते हैं बट टेक्स्ट बुक पढ़ने के लिए उन्हें पता होना चाहिए ना कि टेक्स्ट बुक में एग्जैक्टली क्या है. तो हम टेक्निकल चीजों को सिंपल बता के लेक्चर डिलीवर्ड करते हैं. सो इफ यू सी, ओके, इफ यू रीड ऑल द ऑप्शंस, द डिलीवरी ऑफ लूसिड लैंग्वेज आता है 3 में. सो ए इज 3. तो आप देखो A3 में कहाँ दिया है? ऑप्शन नंबर 3rd. Okay, so let's see, let's go for the rest points also and cross check it. Okay, डिस्कशन इन अ ग्रुप. नाउ व्हेन यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट डिस्कशन इन अ ग्रुप, डिस्कशन किस बेस पे होता है? हम जब ग्रुप को एक टॉपिक देते हैं, सो वी कैन कॉल इट एज थीम बेस्ड इंटरेक्शन अमंग पार्टिसिपेंट्स. ओके, सो दैट इज 5th वन. बी को दिया है उन्होंने 5th. ओके, फाइन, वी आर राइट ना. ब्रेन स्ट्रॉमिंग, अभी आपको पता है ब्रेन स्ट्रॉमिंग, सी द वर्ड इटसेल्फ, जहां पे बहुत सारे चीजें ब्रेन में इट्स लाइक इट्स जगलिंग, ऐसे बहुत सारे आइडियाज, थिंकिंग पावर का देयर इज वॉर गोइंग ऑन. तो ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग बेसिकली क्या है कि आप वो हेल्प करता है आपको बहुत सारी आइडियाज जनरेट करने के लिए. सो प्रोडक्शन ऑफ लार्ज नंबर ऑफ आइडियाज. सो इट इज सी इज टू. ओके, कहीं पे भी देखो, लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल यहाँ पे सपोज हमारा आंसर रॉन्ग है. ओके, बट यहाँ पे कहीं पे भी 3 दिया ही नहीं है. इवन सी इज 2 बट नोवेयर इट इज गिवन 2. इसका मतलब हाई चांसेस है कि आपका ऑप्शन नंबर 3 करेक्ट है ना. प्रोग्राम टीचिंग, it's nothing but it's like a small step of presentation which requires a feedback. So yes, if you see all the जो हमने यहाँ पे सेट किए वो सारे 3 के साथ मैच होते हैं. So your right answer for this question is option number 3. Then next question is about again the coding one, the codes you have to select. So list of evaluation procedure दिया है जहां पे आपको फॉर्मेटिव, अभी हमने फॉर्मेटिव इवैल्यूएशन के बारे में पढ़ा था. फॉर्मेटिव फॉर्म होता है, इट मींस इट इज डन ऑन अ रेगुलर बेसिस. सो लेट्स सी, A teacher awards grade to the students after having transacted, यानी कोर्स खत्म होने के बाद. So this option is definitely not there. हमने पढ़ा है, it is, regularly. During interaction, the students in the classroom, with the students in the classroom, the teacher provide corrective feedback. Yes, on the spot हो रहा है, continuously हो रहा है. The teacher give marks to the students on a unit test. नहीं, ये तो summative है. The teacher clarifies the doubts in the class itself. Yes, ये on the spot हो रहा है. The overall performance of the students reported to the parents every 3 months. यानी ये हमारे unit test का result है, ये summative type में, ये तो नहीं होगा. Okay, the learner's motivation is raised by the teachers. Okay, the learner's motivation is raised by the teacher through a question answer session, which is again on the spot. Yes, it is, this is correct. So if you see, हमारा option C or E, हमें है तो निकाल देना है. C and E, C and E. C on E है ही नहीं. It is completely wrong. So if you go with option number 4, जहां पे हमने टिक किया B sentence, D sentence और F. So yes, this is the correct answer. So your option number 4, that is the right option for the question. Next is on assertion and reasoning based. Assertion and reasoning based questions में आपको याद रखना है, you have to focus on the statement. Do not bring your own perspective. आप खुद क्या सोच रहे हैं वो मत सोचो. स्टेटमेंट क्या दिया है और उसका रीजन क्या दिया, आपको वो कोरिलेट करना है, आपके थॉट्स नहीं लाने हैं. सो जस्ट बी केयरफुल. मेनी अ टाइम स्टूडेंट्स डू दिस मिस्टेक. ओके, assertion क्या दिया है, all teaching should aim at learning, ensuring learning. Yes, definitely हम पढ़ने के लिए ही बच्चों को पढ़ाते हैं. All learning results from teaching, not compulsory. ये हो ही नहीं सकता है. आप लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आप जो पढ़ा रहे हो, बच्चे उसी में से पढ़े, नॉट नेसेसरी. सो डेफिनेटली आर इज फॉल्स. तो अगर हम ऑप्शन 1 देखते हैं, बोथ ट्रू, नो. बोथ फॉल्स, नो. थर्ड अगर ऑप्शन देखते हैं, ए इज ट्रू, यस. बी इज फॉल्स, ये हमारा करेक्ट ऑप्शन है. So this is also not. So if you see, your option number 3 is the right answer for this question. Then next, again, you have an assertion and reasoning based question. Let's see. The initial message of the students in the classroom by the teacher need not to be critical to establish interactions later. Critical का मतलब है, it has to be careful. Definitely, अगर teacher पहले दिन ही impression नहीं ठीक से देंगे, students will take it for granted. So your first statement is, it's false. Okay, so आपको ये statement false है. So अगर दोनों true है, no. दोनों true है, it's not option only. A is true, no, because हमारा A क्या है, false है. Let's see R also. Reason. More control over the communication means control over what the students are learning. Yes, अगर आपको पता है कि क्या पढ़ा रहे हो, so you automatically have a control कि बच्चे क्या पढ़ रहे हैं. So the option 4 is your right answer, where A is false and R is true. Okay. Even next you have an assertion and reasoning question. अभी आप पहले माइंड में पढ़ लो and then you decide कि बाबा ये स्टेटमेंट है और इस स्टेटमेंट पे ये आंसर राइट होगा या नहीं. आपको आपका रीजन नहीं डालना है, रीजन ऑलरेडी दिया है. You just have to focus on that reason. Okay. So to communicate well in the classroom is a natural ability. यानी क्लासरूम में ठीक से बात करने के लिए वो कि नेचुरली आता है, नो. देयर आर मेनी स्टूडेंट्स हु आर रॉन्ग, हु आर नॉट अप टू द मार्क, वेयर टीचर टीचेस देम. सो ये नेचुरल एबिलिटी नहीं है. सो ए इज फॉल्स. तो लेट्स सी द रीजन आल्सो. इफेक्टिव टीचिंग इन द क्लासरूम डिमांड्स नॉलेज एंड कम्युनिकेशन. यस, अगर ये है आपके पास तो आपका टीचिंग ऑटोमेटिकली इफेक्टिव होगा. सो बोथ आर ट्रू इज नॉट है. ए इज ट्रू, नो, because A is false and R is true. So your correct option for this question is option number 4. Okay. Next is the last question of this particular video and the paper. So let's see how it is correlated. Assertion and reason. Assertion. Classroom communication is a transactional process. Transaction. हम बच्चों को कुछ देते हैं, बच्चे उसमें से knowledge extract करते हैं. We give information and students take what knowledge they want to take. So yes, your option right option hai. Okay, let's see the reason also. A teacher does not operate under the assumption that students' responses are purposive. Okay, definitely teacher kabhi I mean to say, do not operate under the assumption. Okay, teacher do not think that purposive hona chahiye isliye wo sikha rahe, definitely not. So if you see, the reason is false. So both are true, no. Both are true, no. A is true, yes. R is false, हमने अभी देखा. A is false, ये तो है नहीं. So your right option is option number 3. Okay, so here was the last question of 2018 papers with respect to teaching aptitude. Now what we are going to do is that we are going to see in the next lecture the previous papers which we are left with the teaching aptitude. So for the time being, the video is, I mean to say, it's done over here, and just wait for the next video to be uploaded with the questions of teaching aptitude in the for the previous paper. Thank you everyone. Welcome everyone with the next video of our preparation, that is UGC NET Paper 1. We'll be looking at previous year question papers of teaching aptitude, and in this video we'll be focusing on 2017's questions with related to teaching aptitude. So before we start with our question, a small announcement regarding our complete course for paper 1, which will help you to prepare yourself. It will help you to give a preparation for examination, which will be consisting of full syllabus test, that is 60 full syllabus test, with including notes, including video lectures. And you can avail this facility with the help of downloading application of Global Online University, or if you can see on the screen, we have a paid WhatsApp group. The contact detail is 817 913 8413, which can be taken an opportunity by paying just 999. So you will get all the details on this WhatsApp group. So the interested students can take an opportunity of this and make yourself strong with the preparation for an approaching or upcoming examination. So let's not waste our time and go ahead with our first question of the day. Now, as we have the method where we see the question, we definitely ensure that we downsize the options which are not close by, and then we come to our related option. So let's go with the first question, which is, which of the following set of statements best represents the nature and objective of teaching and learning? So those students who are with me right now, please try to answer yourself and check down your answers, and it will be great if you keep on posting your scores, so it gives us motivation and encouragement to come up with lots and lots of videos. Okay, so let's read it once again. Which of the following set of statements and best represents the nature and objective of teaching and learning? अभी यहाँ पे आपको दो words दिए हैं, that is nature and objective of teaching and learning. Okay, तो teaching is like selling and learning is like buying. Teaching is a social act while learning is a personal act. Teaching implies learning, whereas learning implies does not imply teaching. Teaching is a kind of delivery of knowledge, while learning is like receiving it. Teaching is an interaction and is triadic in nature. Triadic, iska matlab hai the one which is related to nature, whereas learning is an active engagement in a subject domain. So those students who are reading it and watching the video, quickly note down your answer. Answer find out करने के लिए आपको पता है कैसे करना है. We reduce, go on reducing method. सो नेचर एंड ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ टीचिंग कौन सा नहीं हो सकता है? 100%. सी टीचिंग इज लाइक सेलिंग एंड लर्निंग इज लाइक बाइंग. दिस इज डेफिनेटली नॉट गोइंग टू बी एन ऑप्शन. ओके, फिर टीचिंग इज अ सोशल एक्ट वाइल लर्निंग इज अ पर्सनल एक्ट, ये हमने पढ़ा है. ये डेफिनेटली दिस इज क्लोज टू द आंसर. ये वन ऑफ द ऑब्जेक्टिव एंड नेचर ऑफ टीचिंग होगा. Whereas teaching implies learning, her teaching converts, gets into learning, and learning does not imply teaching. That is, learning does not means teaching. So yes, this is also, it is closely related. Then we have teaching as a kind of delivery of knowledge, information, while learning is like receiving it. ऐसे नहीं है, learning also can be, I can learn from you, you can learn from me. So it's like that system. So receiving सिर्फ नहीं हो सकता है. So this again can't be an option. So if we go with D and A, reducing A and D wherever we have, तो अगर हम देखने गए तो हमारा ऑप्शन 1 है जो करेक्ट है. सो इफ यू जस्ट टेक अ ग्लांस क्विकली, B, यस, हमने ऑलरेडी टिक किया है, सोशल एक्ट एंड पर्सनल एक्ट. C is about, teaching implies learning, whereas learning does not imply teaching. Yes, this is closely related. And E, तो अगर आपको कंफ्यूजन भी है ऑप्शन नंबर सी में, बट स्टिल आपने ए, आपको पता है कि ए और डी तो हो ही नहीं सकता है, so your right option comes to 1. So let's see now, those who have answered this, you are scoring, marks for this question. So just try to practice in this way. It will be easier for you, and you yourself will get motivation for your preparation. Let's go to question number 2 now. Now, question number 2 talks about, from the list given below, identify the learner's characteristics which would facilitate teaching learning system to become effective. So, आपको learner's characteristics pick out करने हैं. So, if we go prior experience, yes, ये होता है. This is really helpful. Learner's family lineage, definitely not. Family is not related to learner characteristics. तो ये नहीं होगा. Then next one we have is aptitude of learner. Yes, उसका aptitude, इसकी capability कैसी है, वो भी important है. Learner stage of development, okay, it's not necessary. Okay, in your important work is to teach. वो कौन से stage of development में, ये closely matter नहीं करता है. So this also can't be an option. लर्नर फूड हैबिट, ये तो डेफिनेटली नो होगा. सो आपको पता है कि ई और ऑप्शन बी इज डेफिनेटली नो, तो वो आप पहले चाहिए तो कैंसिल कर सकते. जैसे बी ऑप्शन तो है ही नहीं, ई ऑप्शन भी नहीं होगा, सो हियर दिस गोज. सो फोर्थ ऑप्शन में लर्नर्स रिलीजियस एफिलिएशन, डेफिनेटली नॉट. Religion does not have any characteristics of learning. In fact, we are into a secular country, so यहाँ पे सब कुछ it's equally taken. So definitely F तो होगा नहीं, but then यहाँ पे A है, C है, D है, and E as I said तो नहीं है. तो आपका ऑप्शन जो बचता है, that is your option number 4. So if you see option number 4, A is there, yes. C is there, yes. And your option number, option number D. Okay, तो अगर आपको ये डाउट है स्टेज ऑफ डेवलपमेंट का, सो इवन इफ यू हैविंग डाउट लेकिन इसमें आता है, सो योर करेक्ट आंसर गोज इज आंसर नंबर or option number 4. So this is what you are. So even if you are having a doubt कि stage of development हमें नहीं confirm है, but A और C तो confirm है, और इस options में से तो कोई options है नहीं, so you can go with this particular method. This becomes bit easier. Okay. Then next question is, which of the following is a key behavior in effective teaching? Key behavior. यानी in structuring, instructional variety, questioning, using students idea and contribution. इन चारों में से सबसे important कौन सा effective teaching के लिए हो सकता है? So that depends, your way of instructions. आप कैसे instructions देते हो, how students understand it, how they take it. So आपके instructions बहुत matter करते हैं. Variety, a dynamism in your instructions will definitely matter a lot in effective teaching. Okay, आप students को कैसे way में control करते हो with your instructions, that matters a lot. So instructional variety is your correct answer. Next is just read the question carefully. Summative और formative test के हम देख रहे हैं, हर एक पेपर में क्वेश्चंस आ रहे हैं, और मैंने आपको अगर लास्ट टेस्ट में याद है बोला था समेटिव जो हम ऐड करके करते हैं एट द एंड सम. ओके, फॉर्मेटिव टेस्ट जो होता है जो हम कंटिन्यूसली रेगुलर बेसिस पे करते हैं. ओके, नाउ सी, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ समेटिव टेस्ट अ टीचर इज इंटरप्रेटिंग हिज और हर स्टूडेंट्स. ओके, performance in terms of their wellness lifestyle evident in behavior. Okay, performance in the terms of wellness, in the terms of lifestyle, जो हम regular basis पे करते हैं, उन्हें देख देख के करते हैं. So if you see the options given is continuous, norm reference, criterion reference, formative. This is done on a regular basis, और आपको मैंने अभी बताया था जो regular basis पे है, that is called as what? That is known as the formative testing. So if you see your answer, option number 4 is your correct option. The next we have is assertion and reason. आपको बताया है कि assertion और reason में you should not use your mindset. आपको सिर्फ फोकस करना है स्टेटमेंट्स पे, आपको आपका पर्सपेक्टिव नहीं डालना है. व्हाट द स्टेटमेंट इज टेलिंग, उसके लिए रीजन क्या दिया है, यू जस्ट हैव टू ब्रिंग दोज टू कनेक्शंस. You should not put your ideologies or principles और आंसर करने की कोशिश करो, वो गलत हो सकता है. हमें स्टेटमेंट पे फोकस करना है और रीजन पे. So if you see the statement, all teaching implies learning. Yes, every teaching is related to learning, or it is basically for learning. So A is for us. A is what? A is true. Okay. Learning to be useful must be derived from teaching. यानी जो सिर्फ यूजफुल है वही हम लर्निंग टू बी यूजफुल मस्ट बी डिराइव फ्रॉम टीचिंग, यानी जो यूजफुल है वही हम लेंगे. टीचिंग इज इट्स अ वास्ट कंसेप्ट, बहुत इट्स अ वाइडर कंसेप्ट. तो आप इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, यूजफुल है. नॉलेज कभी भी वेस्ट नहीं होता है, समहाउ और अदर सम और अदर वे इट इज रियली हेल्पफुल. सो डेफिनेटली दिस टर्म्स टू बी फॉल्स. तो हमें पता है कि ए ट्रू है और आर इज फॉल्स. तो दोनों तो ट्रू है नहीं, तो ये ऑप्शन कैंसिल होगा. ओके, ए फॉल्स है नहीं, both are true है नहीं. So A is true and R is false. So this is our right answer. That is your option number 2 is your right answer. Going to the next one, the purpose of value education is best. जैसे values हमने schools में पढ़ा है value education. So best use उसका कहाँ पे है, किस चीज पे वो focus करता है. Cultural practices in the society, definitely not. नॉर्म्स ऑफ कंडक्ट लेड बाय सोशल ग्रुप. सी सोशल ग्रुप यानी वो एक ही को टारगेट करेंगे. सो नो, वैल्यूज में हमें सिखाया गया है वी हैव टू ट्रीट ईच एंड एवरी वन इन इक्वल वे. सो ये भी नॉट. कंसर्न फॉर ह्यूमन वैल्यूज, यस दिस इज, क्योंकि हमें वैल्यू एजुकेशन पे वैल्यूज, ह्यूमन वैल्यूज पे बहुत इंपॉर्टेंस दिया गया है. जैसे ऑनेस्टी है, रिस्पेक्ट है, ओके, फेथफुलनेस है, वर्थ है. सो दीज इट टॉक्स अबाउट ह्यूमन वैल्यूज. Religion and moral practices, no, because we are having so many religions, so it does not focus on one religion or one aspect. It has, as I said, it is a secular place, so it takes into consideration every part. So this also not. So your answer for the question is option number 3, that is concern for human values. Okay. Now, again, you have a question of assertion and reason. Learning is a lifelong process. Learning is a lifelong process. Yes, it's lifelong process. I mean to say it is whatever you are doing it, like technology. अब अभी हम technology में upgrade हो गए हैं. So yes, maybe next time or coming eras or coming years we'll be having something more to learn. So it is definitely a lifelong process. At the same time, reason क्या दिया है? Learning to be useful must be linked with life processes. Yes, हम जो यानी अगर हमें उसको यूजफुल बनाना है, so whatever happens in our life processes, it has to be linked. Every day we learn a new lesson. Now it depends कि आप, you have to be very active, कि आपको पता होना चाहिए what lesson we learn. Every day is a new lesson for us, so it has to be linked, तभी जाके वो there will be a connection. So if you see A and R, both are true. Both are true and it has a correct explanation. Okay. अगर उसको lifelong बनाना है तो every process of life has to be linked. So if you see the first option, A and R are true and R is the correct explanation. ये हमारा actual option है. But let's see the next option also. A and R are true but R is not correct explanation. No, ये false है. A is true, R is false. ये है हो ही नहीं सकता है. A is false, R is true. No. So our correct option goes is option number 1. That is your correct answer is option number 1. Next, effectiveness of teaching has to be judged in the terms of. अगर आप teaching को effective बनाना चाहते हो तो उसे judge करने के लिए कौन से terms हम use करेंगे? Course coverage? No. उसके अलावा बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स हैं. स्टूडेंट्स इंटरेस्ट? डेफिनेटली नॉट. ये एक ही एस्पेक्ट है. आई एम नॉट टेलिंग दिस इज नॉट, बट ये सिर्फ इफेक्टिव टीचिंग के लिए यही इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है. सो आई एम क्रॉसिंग इट आउट. ओके, लर्निंग आउटकम्स, यस. टीच यूज ऑफ टीचिंग एड्स इन द क्लासरूम, नो. क्योंकि अगर आप देख रहे हो जो जो मैंने क्रॉस किया है, इट इज ओनली फोकसिंग ऑन वन एस्पेक्ट. जैसे टीचिंग एड एक ही एस्पेक्ट है, इंटरेस्ट एक ही एस्पेक्ट है, कोर्स एक ही एस्पेक्ट है, बट अ लर्निंग आउटकम में एवरीथिंग कम्स आउट, एवरीथिंग इज इंक्लूडेड. सो लर्निंग आउटकम ऑफ द स्टूडेंट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू इफेक्टिव टीचिंग. सो योर ऑप्शन नंबर 3 इज द करेक्ट आंसर. Next one. In which method learners' participation is made optimal and proactive. Okay, optimal and proactive. Now this is bit of theory part जो आपको याद रखने हैं, ये concepts: discussion method, bus session method, brainstorming and project. Okay, now if you see optimum learners participation is made optimal and proactive. हमने words पढ़े हैं proactive and reactive. आप कुछ होने के पहले अगर you become ready, so it is called as proactive. आप कुछ होने के बाद रिएक्ट करते हो तो इज कॉल्ड एज रिएक्टिव. ओके, लेकिन टुडेज वर्ल्ड इज लाइक वी हैव टू बी अ प्रोएक्टिव. जैसे लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल आगे क्या होने वाला है उस पूरा तो नहीं वी कैन प्रेडिक्ट, बट वी हैव टू एंटिसिपेट और उसके हिसाब से वी हैव टू कीप ऑन चेंजिंग आवर स्ट्रैटेजीज. ओके, नाउ सो ये कौन से मेथड में होता है? दैट इज इन द प्रोजेक्ट मेथड. नाउ प्रोजेक्ट मेथड इज अ मेथड वेयर अ लर्नर एक्वायर्स एंड अप्लाई द नॉलेज एंड स्किल्स टू सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम. ओके, सो इसका मतलब है वो प्रॉब्लम के पहले ही बिकम्स रेडी फॉर दैट. सो दैट इज कॉल्ड एज द प्रोएक्टिव. अगर आप बाकी के सारे स्टेटमेंट्स देखोगे, मेथड्स देखोगे, सो इन मेथड्स में सबसे कॉमन बात क्या है? वो हमेशा प्रॉब्लम को पढ़ने के बाद दे स्टार्ट ऑन डिस्कसिंग ऑन इट. उनको डिस्कशन मेथड, पहले प्रॉब्लम को अंडरस्टैंड करते हैं फिर डिस्कस करते हैं. बट सेशन ऑल्सो दे लिसन एंड देन दे रिएक्ट. ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग ऑल्सो, पहले वो प्रॉब्लम को सुनते हैं एंड देन दे गो ऑन फाइंडिंग द सोल्यूशन. बट प्रोजेक्ट मेथड में इट इज ओनली प्रोएक्टिव. प्रोजेक्ट मेथड में बिफोर गोइंग फॉर अ प्रोजेक्ट, बिफोर डूइंग अ प्रोजेक्ट, the things are understood or learners participation becomes proactive. So the correct answer here is option number 4. Next we have is one of the most powerful factors affecting teaching effectiveness is related to what? यानी अगर आप सबसे important factor, powerful factor जो teaching को affect कर सकता है वो क्या है? Social system? No. इसमें बहुत सारे problems है. आपको पता है like society is formed of too many, I mean to say customs, traditions. तो अगर आपको किसी एक को importance दोगे तो there will be a problem. So no. Economic status? Definitely not. Political status, a big no. So education is the only system which can affect the teaching, I mean to say, which is one of the powerful factor which can affect the teaching, which can bring a centralized way of thinking, which can make the things more better. So that where every one of us are taking education, every one of us are getting educated in a standardized form. So education has that power to bring that effectiveness. So your answer for this question will be option number 4. Okay, now the next and the last question for the day: assertion and reasoning. Formative evaluation tends to accelerate the pace of learning. फॉर्मेटिव हमने किया है रेगुलर. सी एवरी पेपर में ये क्वेश्चन है फॉर्मेटिव और समेटिव. आई एम नॉट टेलिंग द सेम क्वेश्चन, बट ये कंसेप्चुअल क्वेश्चंस है, तो आपको इसको थोड़ा सा याद रखना है. मैंने आपको बताया है कि व्हाट इट इज, बट यू हैव टू लर्न मोर डिटेल अबाउट इट. द वे वी आर प्रैक्टिसिंग, हम अलग अलग क्वेश्चंस देखेंगे, बट यू कैंट अफोर्ड टू लीव दिस टॉपिक. ओके, फॉर्मेटिव एवेल्यूएशन एक्सेलरेट्स यानी स्पीड अप द स्पेस ऑफ लर्निंग. लर्निंग को थोड़ा स्पीड अप करता है. रीजन क्या दिया है? एज अगेंस्ट समेटिव इवैल्यूएशन, फॉर्मेटिव इवैल्यूएशन इज हाईली रिलायबल. उन्होंने क्या बोला है? अगर दोनों को कंपेयर किया तो ये फॉर्मेटिव बहुत रिलायबल है एज कंपेयर टू समेटिव. ऐसा नहीं है, हमने दोनों का यूज देखा है. there is there is nothing about reliability. it depends. अगर आप चाइल्ड को छोटे छोटे टर्म्स में देखना चाहते हो, so that is called as formative evaluation. at the end आपको कैलकुलेट करके उसका प्रोग्रेस देखना है, so that is summative. so for us the statement A is true but R is false. so let's see, both are true, it's not possible. Both are true is again not possible. A is true, yes. R is false, yes. A is false, no, this is not. So if you see, the option number 3 will be your correct answer. So this is what for the day is. I just want every one of you, when whoever are watching this video, just ensure that you are putting your scores in the comment box. It will help you to understand your way of learning also and where you are going wrong. At the same time, it will help us to encourage to come up with this more videos. So yes, thank you everyone for the day, and with the next video we will come up with the next paper. Thank you. Hello everyone, here we are back again with our UGC NET preparation for paper 1. and we are focusing on previous year's questions, which is related to teaching aptitude. Today we'll be focusing on the year 2016's paper. So let's start for the day. The first question tells you about a teacher in a classroom has a immediate control over what? किस चीज पे टीचर का immediate control होता है from the given list? So the first is the self, यानी टीचर का खुद पे selected methods of communication and the message. Second, the audience, the noise and the reception. Noise पे टीचर का कंट्रोल नहीं हो सकता है because that is not a controllable factor. So this is doubtful. The feedback, the technology and the audience experiences. Definitely this again can't be, it is not completely under control. Next is the communication channel, other communicators and external factors. External factors आपको पता है uncontrollable होते हैं. Internal factors are controllable. So external factors पे तो control है नहीं. So that again becomes a doubt. So if you see the question, the option number A comes to the close relation. So the option A will be your right answer. That is the self-selected methods of communication and the message. Going towards the second question, which of the following set of standard statements reflect the basic characteristics of teaching? अभी फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स है, नीचे कुछ स्टेटमेंट्स दिए हैं, उसमें से आपको वो स्टेटमेंट सेलेक्ट करने हैं जो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ टीचिंग को रिफ्लेक्ट करते हैं. ओके, सो लेट्स रीड दैट. टीचिंग इज सेम एज ट्रेनिंग. टीचिंग और ट्रेनिंग सेम है, बल्कि नहीं, दोनों में डिफरेंस है. सो दिस कांट बी योर ऑप्शन. There is no difference between instruction and conditioning when we teach. Definitely not. There is a difference. Okay. Teaching is related to learning. Yes, teaching is related to learning. Teaching से learning हो सकता है. So it is related. Okay. Teaching is a task word. And when I'm using the word task word, it means it's a job. Okay. It's a duty. It's a responsibility. While learning is an achievement, हम जो पढ़ाते हैं उसमें से जो achievement product होता है, that is called as learning. Yes, this is related. Okay. Teaching means giving information. It's not only giving information. और बहुत सारे parallel activities होते रहते हैं. So this can't be the only option. So this is also, striked out. One may teach without learning taking place. Yes, आप जब teach करते हो 101%, बहुत सारे cases में, यानी when the students are not attentive, learning नहीं होता है. So yes, this is related. Okay, so if you see the options which we have striked out, number 1. So wherever you have number 1 or number 5, so 1 and 5 are your options which are not there. So if you see your option number B has the tick topic statements which we have already ticked. So teaching is related to learning. It's an task and achievement word, and one can teach without learning taking place. So that is your option B is the correct answer for this question. Then next question we have is, which of the following factors affect teaching? इसमें से कौन से factors हैं? कुछ factors हमें list out किए हैं, उसमें से आपको कौन से factors find out करने हैं जो affect करते हैं teaching को. So let's start with this. Now, teachers in internal locus of control. Now, what is the meaning of locus of control? It means the extent till what a teacher can control the student. Okay. So yes, teachers internal locus of control, that is a controlling power. Yes, it can affect teaching. Okay. Now, कैसे affect कर सकता है? Like for example, when you have too much students in a class, and when you have lesser students in the class, it definitely the attention is diverted among all those students. So if you have an exact ratio to take care of, okay, then it becomes easier. So that can affect the teaching. Learner motivation, yes, definitely motivation can affect teaching. Teachers biographical data, definitely not. Teachers biographical data is not concerned with this. It's not related to the teaching, which will affect the teaching. Teacher's self-efficiency, yes, how much efficient a teacher is, can affect the teaching. Learners' interest in co-curricular activities, now that does not closely affects the teaching. So this is not very close to the answer. Okay. Teachers' skill in managing and monitoring, very, very important, because all it depends upon, the way the teacher handles and manage the class and monitors. So that can definitely affect the teaching. And the next one is teacher's knowledge of the subject, including the general knowledge. Yes. So this is also main aspect. So if you see point number 5 and point number 3, if those are present in the answer, it means that your answer is not, closely related to your topic. So if you see that is point number A, which talks about locus of control, 2 motivation, 3 is the next is the self efficiency, then is your managing skills and your knowledge. So that is option number 1 is your right answer for this. Next we have is which combination of methods of teaching is likely to optimize learning, which will give you the optimum learning. इसमें से कौन से methods है जो आपको compile करके दिए हैं. So out of which of these methods you feel there is an optimized learning. So lecturing, discussion and seminar में optimized learning हो सकता है. You are doubtful तो उसको वैसे ही रखिए. Rest of the options read it first. Don't be in a hurry. Interactive discussions, yes. Plant lectures and PowerPoint presentations. Okay, let's see the next one. Interactive sessions followed with bus sessions, brainstorming and projects. Okay, yes, this can be as compared to earlier to यहाँ पे there are more options, okay, for optimized learning. Lecturing, demonstration and PowerPoint. Lecturing can't give you optimized learning. So यहाँ पे भी देखो lecturing है, lecturing we have planned lectures. So option of your this question will be option number C. That is interactive sessions by followed by bus sessions, brainstorming and the projects. Okay. Next is we have an assertion and reasoning. As I told you that during assertion and reasoning, you have to concentrate on the statement. Statement क्या बोल रहा है, reason क्या mention कर रहा है, and is there any correlation? You don't have to bring your personal perspective or view in between. So let's understand. Teaching aids have to be considered as effective supplements as instruction to instruction. Sorry, teaching aids. We have discussed this in earlier lectures. कि teaching aids पे हमने question भी किए हैं. Teaching aids considered to be an effective supplement, a addition to the instruction. Yes, the statement is definitely true. Okay, teaching aid helps to to instruct, to helps to add a supplement to the instruction. They keep the students in good humor. Okay, they keep the students in good humor is not only the option. Okay, ये supplement क्यों करता है कि सिर्फ वो students को good sense of humor में रखता है क्या? No, that is not only the option. But the statement is correct. The statement is correct. So we have an option as both are true. But R is correct explanation? No, we do not feel so as compared to the first assertion. So now both are true, but R is not the correct explanation. A is true, A is false. So one is true, one is false is not the option. Both are true, but it is not the correct option. So our option comes to, option number B, where the statements are true, but the explanation is not as per, it's not exactly the perfect one. Then the purpose of formative evaluation is grading students' learning outcome, accelerating students' learning performance, check students' performance graph, provide feedback to teachers' effectiveness. So grade students, grading है, learning outcome है, but grading no, that discourages. Accelerate students' learning performance, yes, ये हो सकता है, this is close by. Checking students' graph, no, we are not interested, to ensure that the graph बढ़ रहा है. We are interested in, overall performance. Providing feedback to the teacher's effectiveness, this is not the close one. So basically formative evaluation, which is done for the students' acceleration of performance. So option number B is your correct answer. Then we have which of the following learner characteristics are likely to influence the effectiveness of teaching aids and evaluation system. See दो चीजें दी यहाँ पे learner characteristics के बारे में वो बता रहे हैं which influence जो influence करता है teaching as well as evaluation system को to ensure कि result positive है. There has to be a positive result. Okay, so let's see which of this can come to a close option for the question. Family background, definitely not. It's not an only option. Okay, positive नहीं है. Family background, it can be not good but the result can be very good, the outcome can be very good. So family background का direct correlation नहीं है. Learners parentage, that is parenting, socioeconomic background, performance and learning concern to the subject, no, definitely not. Socioeconomic background does not have any connection with the evaluation system. Learner stage of development, yes, but साथ में उन्होंने social background दिया है जहाँ family और parenting आता है, no, and personal interest is no, it's not related. Learner's maturity level, yes. Academics performance, yes. Motivational depositions, yes. This can become, a close relation to ensure that they influence teaching and they definitely give, a perfect positive result as per the evaluation. So if you see, your option number D is the right answer. So here we end with, today's video with 2016's question related to teaching aptitude. In the next upcoming video, we'll be having our next papers which we'll be covering. So ensure that apart from this, aap say, like for example, if you really read the concepts, there are so many new concepts which are added. Okay, so apart from doing this practice also, ensure that you are understanding the concepts. Question will not be same. लेकिन क्वेश्चन अगर ट्विस्ट भी करके आपको पूछा जाता है, you should have the skills to understand the content and to find out the right answer for your question. So thank you everyone, and just wait for another video to come up with teaching aptitude with reference to the next, I mean to say with reference to the previous paper. Thank you. Hello everyone, here we are back with our next video for UGC NET Paper 1 preparation, which will be focusing the topic of teaching aptitude with reference to previous year questions. Before we start for the session, here we are to help you out to boost your preparation for paper 1 with a complete course for paper 1, which will be consisting of 60 full syllabus test. Additionally, it will be having full syllabus notes and the video lectures. To avail this facility, you people can download application that is Global Online University, or else you have another facility where with the help of a paid WhatsApp group, the contact detail is given on the screen. I'll read it for you people. That is 817-913-8413, which is with just a nominal fees of 999 only. So without wasting time, we'll start with the session for the day with our questions. So the first question is, greater the handicap of the students coming to the educational institutions, greater the demand lies on whom? It means that when you have children, or when you have students with special needs who are coming to the educational institutions, that is schools, so the demand for whom will be increased. So the options given to you are family, society, teacher and state. So instead of going through, maybe many of you maybe for you this answer will be on the tip of tongue, but sif ek bar sochiye ki why we can't have, family is not an educational institution. So just have some common factors to answer your question. Society definitely doesn't come into educational institution. It is a place from where I mean to say it's a second institution, but not an educational institution. When we talk about a state, it represents a body. So definitely when we are talking about educational institutions, it is only and only teacher whose demand will be increasing in order to handle this type of students. So if you see, the option for this question is the right option for this question is option number C. Next question is about, what are the characteristics of continuous and comprehensive evaluation? So if you see these terms, continuous and comprehensive evaluation, now this is nothing but the process of school-based evaluation assessment, which was directed with the help of Right to Education Act 2009. Where it talks about continuous, iska matlab hai the growth and development of a child. Comprehensive का मतलब है which considers an overall development of a child. It does not focuses only one aspect. ये सारे aspects को consider करके it goes with a overall development of a child. फिर उसके characteristics क्या है? We have been given certain characteristics. We are supposed to pick up the right one. The first is it increases the workload on the students by taking multiple tests. Now see, it's very common. अगर आप continuous development के बारे में बात कर रहे हो, so it will never be a load. Definitely continuous का मतलब है which will help a child to go bit easily and move with progress. अगर जब हम load की बात करते हैं तो development नहीं हो सकता है. So this definitely can't be an option. It replaces marks with grades, yes, which we have a new system of marking. It evaluates every aspect of the student. Now see, comprehensive का मतलब मैंने आपको बोला था, it takes into consideration every aspect. So when you are very clear with the terms, it becomes easier for you to select the options. So yes, this is definitely there. This is definitely there. It helps in reducing examination phobia, that is a fear. Yes, so अगर आप regularly बच्चों की practice करते रहोगे and if you do it on a regular basis, the phobia which is there in the mind of a child with related to examination will definitely reduce. So if you see, if you're not sure with your ticks, so अगर आपको पता है question A तो ऑप्शन ए तो होगा ही नहीं बिकॉज इट्स टॉकिंग अबाउट अ लोड यानी प्रेशर. हम प्रेशर में बच्चों की डेवलपमेंट नहीं कर सकते. सो व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट ऑप्शन ए इट इज डेफिनेटली नॉट देयर. सो व्हेन वी गो फॉर दिस टाइप ऑफ सिलेक्शन जहां पे A है, that option will not come. Okay, but what we have selected is no B, C, D. So B, C, D, here only a B and D is it is talking about, but every aspect, तो ये aspect का मतलब है comprehensive, the meaning is comprehensive, so definitely C will come. So your, if you see, your correct option for this question is option number D. The next question talks about which of the following attributes. Attributes का मतलब होता है features, characteristics. Denote great strengths of a teacher. Now, like for example, what are the features or what are the characteristics which denote strength? Denote strength का मतलब है which gives a strong, firm affirmation to the ideology or to the personality of the teacher. So the first option, full-time involvement in institutional management. See, यहाँ पे institutional management में teacher का involvement है when it comes to students perspective, but teacher का main intention तो institutional management में नहीं होता है. So definitely A is not a right answer. B, setting examples, yes, with the teacher's behavior or with teachers, teacher grooming up the students and bringing change in the students. Teacher can set an example. Willingness to put assumptions to the test, okay, that is willingness to put their own assumptions with respect to bringing up the children to the test to test it. Acknowledging mistakes, it means accepting the mistakes. So if you see again, A won't be an option. तो जहाँ पे A है आप A cancel कर दोगे. A won't be an option. So what answer left is that answer, your answer for your question is, that is option number B, which is already given here, and here also you have, and option B is an correct answer. Next one you have is, which of the following statements in the is correct in context of multiple choice questions, that is MCQs. I'll read it once again. कौन से statement, following statements में से कौन से statements correct है in context of MCQs. So when we talk about MCQs, definitely which type of questions it is, they are the objective questions. तो अगर हमारे options में suppose subjective आता है, so that cannot be an option. Still, let's read the options. They are more objective than true or false questions. Yes, they are not just true or false, but they are more than that. That is objective. They are less objective, नहीं हो सकता है, because we know MCQ is an objective type of questions. They are more subjective, which is not possible. See what I told you, subjective word comes. MCQs are not subjective, they are not descriptives. Okay, you're not supposed to describe them. They are more subjective, it won't be. So if you see the option, that is option number A is the correct option for this question. Next is, what are required for good teaching? From the following, what are required? What things are required? Diagnosis. Now, when we talk about diagnosis, इसका मतलब है आप problem find out करते हैं and a solution for the problem. But to do that, you should know the problem first. What problem a child is facing? Why his concentration is not there? Why he is not able to study? तो सबसे पहले तो आपको problem find out करनी है. Yes, it is required. Remedy, उस problem का solution आपको find out करना है. That is a remedy. That is, measures. Direction, yes. Solution के बाद आपको बच्चों को guide करना पड़ेगा. You have to guide them in a correct way or in a correct for the correct path. And whenever you're guiding them, you have to keep on giving a feedback to them. Now we know that, see, when you communicate with a child, feedback is an essential process to complete your communication cycle, जो हमने पढ़ा है. So without feedback, बच्चों को नहीं समझ में आएगा where exactly they are wrong, or whether they are doing it correctly or not. So if you see, A, B, C, D, both are required for good teaching. So A, B, C, D, you have an option over here, but rest of the options, no, it's not there. So your answer for this question is option number A. Next question, which of the following is the highest level of cognitive ability? That is evaluation, knowing, understanding, analyzing. So you definitely have a question for this. Now this is nothing but it is called as Bloom's taxonomy. We will just have a small look at this answer is evaluating. When maybe many of you are aware, but just have a look at this. What is the concept? The concept is Bloom's taxonomy. It's nothing but a classification of different skills which are required, which are educators set for the students. Okay. Now in this, which this was been proposed by the educational psychologist, that is Benjamin Bloom, where he has given the 6 levels. Okay. First is, knowledge. Many a times you may get a question as which is the lowest level. So you should be prepared with all the type of, questions. So it starts with knowledge, that is recalling. Comprehension is understanding. Application, it means to apply it in the new situation or circumstances. Analysis, to break it and understand. Synthesis, to put it togetherly. Go for a creative thinking and then go for the judgment. So if you see the highest ability over here, cognitive means mental ability, is nothing but it is evaluation or is evaluating. Next question is, achievement tests are commonly used for what? See, achievement test. Now let's see what are the option. Assessing the amount of learning after teaching. Making selection for specific job. See, we are dealing with the students, so this immediately does not comes. Selecting candidate for a course. So when we are talking about this, so definitely not, we do not consider that at first. Identifying the strength and weaknesses of the learner, no, it is basically to find out what amount of learning has happened after the teaching activity is done. So it is to assess the amount of learning activity, and for that we use this achievement test. So your correct option is option number A. Next we have is techniques used by teacher to teach include. Now what are the techniques? There are different techniques which are used by a teacher. They have given some techniques over here. तो उसमें से कौन से techniques are used by teacher? So first is lecture. Next is interactive lecture. Interactive wherein the teacher involved the students also, in the session. So it may be in the form of question answering. It may be you taking up an idea. So it's an interactive session. Group work, it's like group I mean to say assessment teacher is doing, and self study. So techniques used by teacher, so lecture yes, interactive lecture yes, teacher can use a group work, but self study is what one which an individual do on his own, student do on his own. So option D definitely won't be, the correct option. So wherever you have option D, you have to strike it out. So the option left is what? Option B. So our right answer is option number B. Next you have is, which of the following statements about teaching aids are correct? Teaching aids which are used by the teacher. Okay, so which are the correct options for that? They help in retaining concepts for a longer duration. Yes, teacher use teaching it so that the child remains, the concept of that particular topic remains in child's mind for a longer period of time. They help students learn better. Yes. They make teaching learning process interesting. Yes. They enhance rote learning. They support rote learning. Rote learning, it means learning without understanding the concept. Definitely not. That's the reason we use teaching aid, to ensure that students do not rote learn the concept. They understand the concept and then they try to see to those concepts with the understanding and not with the help of rote learning. So option D, wherever you have option D, definitely that is not an answer. So your correct correct answer for this particular question is C. That is option number C is the correct answer. Next, a good teacher is one who inspires students to learn, gives useful information, explain concepts and principles, give printed notes to students. So obviously, ye dekhiye, teacher does not believe in spoon feeding the students. So option D nahi hoga. But you may have you may have a doubt between these three. Gives information, yes, ye hai correct hai. Teacher, the work of the teacher is to give information. Teacher's work is to explain the concepts and principles. But ye dene ke baad, what if the child does not learn? So the main intention of the teacher, of a good teacher, is always to make student or to inspire student to learn. Okay, to create a willingness or interest in them for learning. So the correct option is option number A, that is inspire students to learn. So that's all for the day. We'll be having a next video for the same topic and many more to come. So keep on practicing. Hardly you have time in your hand. Ensure that whatever you're doing, just give your best. Go for a lot of concepts. Okay, when you're reading these questions, ensure that the topics are properly clear with you. Thank you, everyone. Hello everyone, here we are back with our next video for UGC net preparation, that is for paper 1. And today for a change, I have included some practice questions on teaching aptitude. So it will help you out to, just know the concepts basically and do your practice well. So let's start with the session for the day. The first question is emotional adjustment of students is effective in. Now, when we talk about emotional adjustment with respect to students, if it's effective in which of the following? It is effective in personality formation. Yes, very true, because we want our children to develop themselves in a different ways or in different aspects. So personality formation is a very important effectiveness. Class teaching, yes. To have or to inculcate discipline within the students, yes, all of the above. So if you're talking about emotional adjustments, this effectiveness can be seen in all. So that is personality formation, class teaching, discipline, all of the above. So the answer for this question is option D, that is all of the above. Next question, Blackboard can be included in which category of teaching aids? So Blackboard is one of the teaching aid. So there are following categories which are given. So where can you bifurcate Blackboard as? So the first is audio aids. That is, it is just about listening. Visual aids, which is about seeing. Audio visual, which parallelly goes, that is audio as well as visual, and none of the above. But when we talk about Blackboard, Blackboard comes to what? Blackboard comes to the visual aid. So the answer for this question is option number B, that is visual aids. We have next question, that is which of the following is related with teaching skill? Now when we talk about teaching skill, which of the following is related? Now definitely teaching skills has enhanced and has developed as per the coming time, but then let us focus at the question and try to find out that which of the teaching skill, which of the following of all given are related to teaching. So Blackboard writing, yes, very important. We know that a teacher has to be very perfect with her handwriting, with the sequence of writing, with the methodology of starting to write on a blackboard. So yes, Blackboard writing is one of the important skill. Solving the questions, it means whatever doubts or questions a student come up with, it is a skill of a teacher to solve those questions. Asking the questions in order to make your class interactive or in order to make your students speak, it is very important the teacher should have a skill of asking the question. So if you see, all the above are related to what? They are related to teaching skills. So whether it is Blackboard writing, whether it is solving questions, or whether it is asking questions, the perfect skill is needed for this. So the option for this is, that is option number D, all the above. Next question is, students who ask questions in the class should be advised to meet the teacher after the class, should be encouraged to participate in the discussion in the class, should be encouraged to continue asking questions, should be encouraged to search answers independently. See, now many of you may be knowing the answer, but as I always say, whenever you know the answer, please try to find out the reason behind it. I mean to say, now many of you must have studied this question in previous years papers also. So if you see the answer is encouraged to continue asking questions, but then why, what is the intention behind that? You have to think at from that point of view, because if this question is twisted a bit and it is in a different way, so it will be easier for you to remember and get a right answer for that. So when any student asks any question in the class, it means that you are trying to increase, or you are trying to help or enhance the analytical ability of the student. You want your students to come up with a lot of questions, and then it becomes an habit, and that is the way they learn to get answers to the questions. I mean to say that, if like for example, if students are just sitting and attending the lecture and they do not have any doubt, it means it becomes, teachers become suspicious whether the students are listening or not. So when there are students who are continuously asking the questions, it means they are improving their analytical ability, and teachers should encourage such type of students to continue asking the questions. So the analytical mind, it will help the child to develop and grow day by day. So the answer is option number C, encourage to continue asking questions. The next is at authoritarian level of teaching. uh, I mean to say, who is it is centered at what? Whether it is a authority level, is a teacher centered, it is it child centered, is it headmaster centered, or it is experience based. So we know in a classroom, see, we are talking about education system. We are talking about the teacher and a student. So when we have these two factors, the authority definitely is what it is, a teacher centered. So the answer for this question is option number A, that is teacher centered. Next question: who developed the interaction analysis category system? Okay, please read the question very carefully. What it is? Interaction analysis category system in education for, sorry for a small spelling error, it is for increasing the teacher effectiveness. So who has developed this analysis system? So the options are given over here: Flander, Ron, Admon and Simon, and Richard. Now let's understand the bit of the theoretical aspect of this question. The answer is Flander, but let's understand this particular system of education. The name of the system is Interaction Analysis Category System in Education. So this system basically is nothing but it is an observational tool. Now observation tool, it means observation by a teacher. Teacher is an observer, sorry, and the student who is an which is a who is the aspect to whom the teacher is observing, that is the student. So it is an observation tool where it classifies verbal behavior of teacher and pupil as they interact in the classroom. Now, here, please pay an attention over here. It is a verbal behavior. You may get a question, they may put a question that whether it is the interaction in the form of verbal or non-verbal behavior. No, it is only giving attention towards the verbal behavior. So this also point you keep in mind. It can come in, in any form. Who was the who has developed this system? That was developed by Ned Flander, and he has given 10 categories for the system. So the 10 categories are listed over here from 1 to 10. They are divided into two. That is, one is from the student's talk perspective and another is from teacher talk. So when I'm talking indirect influence, it means here the teacher is responding. Okay, the teacher is responding. It's a response by the teacher. When I'm talking indirect influence, it is a response by the teacher. And when I'm talking about direct influence, it is an initialization. It's an initiation by the teacher. How, what exactly the teacher, or how exactly the teacher initiates. So, like, I'll give you an example: indirect influence. Okay, like praises or encourages. So, like, if a child do something good, the teacher gives an indirect influences in the way of what response by encouraging the child to do good. Okay, like for example, if a child does a good diagram, or if a child has drawn a very good diagram, teacher encourages the child by praising him, and or by patting his back and telling him to go or to keep this practice going on, in order to have a in order to give a positive feeling to the child. Direct influence in the form of initiation, like for example, lectures. So when teacher is initiating, when a teacher is starting a new topic, teacher starts with lecture. It means giving the information, giving knowledge, and giving content to the child. So that is direct influence. It means the teacher initiates with the action. Same from the student, there are three types of responses. That is the pupil's response to the teacher, the initiation from the student, and the silence or confusion. Many a times we have seen that the children, I mean, say when you're teaching some kids, or you're speaking to a child, either they are completely confused, they don't understand, they must have lost the track, or they are silenced. Okay, this is the way they try to react. So these are the 10 categories which comes under the interactional, that is interaction, interaction analysis category, which is given by Flander. So here you may get a question on the name, who has developed it is already there. Behavior, which type of behaviors are judged, so you just have to keep this in mind, it's only verbal behavior. And what type of categories are there, so they may give you any of the categories, either to pick up the wrong category, or to have a category between teacher and student talk. So you have to just once read this carefully. Okay, towards the next question, which of the following is not a level of teaching? Now there are levels of teaching. Okay, now basically there are three levels of teaching. Okay, so levels of teaching is the memory level, the second is understanding level, and third is the reflective level. When I'm talking about memory level, it is least thoughtful. Here it is, this is a level which promotes more of rote learning. Okay, you try to put I mean the kids are, in order to make them well with the things, or in order to make them familiar, the rote learning type of thing is practice over here, which is least thoughtful. The children do not have to think anything over here. Understanding level, where it is thoughtful, the children had to grab the concept, understand it, and then they need to apply it. And the third level is reflective, it is also called as interactive, which is most thoughtful, where the child is, here we can tell that the more of analytical ability will help. If you develop that analytical ability from this level, it will help the child when he goes into the reflective level, in order to become most thoughtful. Okay, and at the same time I have written the levels are developed by whom. If it's memory level, it is Herbert. Understanding level, that is developed by Morrison. Reflective level, that is developed by Hunt. So if I'm talking about the levels of teaching, which one is not the level? So these three are the levels, as in the diagram we can see. So the odd man out is differentiation. See the question clearly, not. So you have to find out which is not. So answer is option number A. Next, in order to modify the undesirable behavior of a student, the most effective method is undesirable behavior. The behavior which you don't want the child to learn, which is undesirable. Okay. So in such case, see, every time punishment, giving a punishment is not an option to the child. Okay. Maybe he becomes more aggressive, and he is completely, if he is bad, he will turn to worst. So in such case, teachers has to think from one point of view. As I said, punishment every time won't help. So this won't be an option. To bring to notice of the parents, maybe I mean to say, the child is not that close to the parents, or you can take the child into confidence. So sometimes this may not work out. So as a teacher, you can't even ignore it. So what can you do is that you can find out the reason for the undesirable behavior and provide the remedies. So as a teacher, your observation tools, like right now we have just studied about the interaction system. Okay, in which the moment you start observing the child, you understand the undesirable behavior is, there is a reason for that behavior. So you have to pick up the reason, you have to find a remedy, and you have to convert it into desirable behavior. And that's what we always tell, a teacher is a teacher helps in the transformation of a student. So you can change that student, behavior of the student from undesirable, you can bring it to desirable. So the correct answer for this question is option number C. Next question, the standard of education can be raised by. So if you really want to raise the standard, like for example, in Indian education system, if you want to raise the standard of education, what exactly can you do, or what can be raised? Either by appointing good teachers, or by providing physical facilities, reforming examination system, providing computers in school. So if you see this option number B, C, and D, they are important. Okay, but who is the first factor who comes into direct contact with the student? That is teachers. So if the teachers are good, if the appointed teachers are good, they will make use of physical facilities in the school in a proper way. They will help to bring a reformation in an examination system. They will help, to provide or to help the students to learn with the computer system, or with the help of computers. But basically, what is the main ingredient in order to raise the standard of education is teachers. So the option for this is appointing good teachers. You can raise the standard of education. So your right answer is option number A. The last question for the day, if students are not taking interest in your teaching, now see, this is very very important nowadays. You know how the if you see today's students, okay, they are, their level of understanding, their level of behavior is completely different. So if you try to, when you're teaching them, and if you try to follow the old traditional method, though you are an excellent teacher, you have lot of knowledge, but if you're not able to present that in the front of the students, it becomes difficult. I mean to say, in spite of you being an best teacher, students will not be able to, cope up with your teaching. So in such case, if you find such hints, or if you find such type of behavior that what you're teaching is not been able to understand by the students, so in such case, it is important for you to do what? Okay, ignore them. This is definitely not an option. Okay, leave the class, never. Ask the student to pay attention, you can do this. Okay, but in spite of they paying the attention, if they are not understanding, then, so this is not an option. So change the teaching method. So what you will do is, the moment, see, it's not about, your method is wrong, but this child is not able to understand. So it is the duty, a moral duty and responsibility of a teacher, that if the teaching is not if the child is not able to understand the teaching of the student, the teacher should focus on teaching method, which should be changed as per the, as per the style the child is likely to take the knowledge. So the answer for this question is option number D. So here we end up with our video, and the next video we will again come up with some practice questions. So it will give you a little bit of confidence. See, it's not, maybe the question levels are too easy, but a small break will help you to bounce your memory back, and you can really start practicing more and more difficult questions, so that it will give you a balance of, to your brain, taking care of your easy questions, and putting in mind the difficult question. So in next class, we'll be continuing with our this particular video of teaching aptitude. So thank you everyone, see you in the next class.